Well, thank you very much, Samson, and good morning to you, the panel, and to all your distinguished listeners. It's been a very hectic week, but it has also been an inspiring week. It's been a week where many Ghanaians have been responding. When we spoke last week, there were just about 18 organizations and individuals who had come in to support us. As I speak to you, the updated list I hold in my hands here, 55.
Wow.
55 organizations. And honestly, I have really been overwhelmed by the outpouring of compassion, of kindness. Ghanaians are very good people, I must emphasize. Very good people. You have volunteers. Nooks has been here with students who say they want to take time off and just come and teach our children under trees.
You were actually asking for volunteers for your caravan.
Yes, and the response has been overwhelming. Nooks, the All Africa Students Union, and the Town Students Association in the universities responded, and they are here organizing free classes for the kids. Because remember that as long as these camps remain in these 21 schools, there can be no education. The children don't have access to their classroom, and they are losing time because their peers are learning across the country, and they are going to be writing the same BC. They'll be writing the same WASI. So that has been my headache, really.
So presently, there is absolutely no option than to use the 21, classrooms or plus churches, so that there's the pupils, the students will have the opportunity of an environment to learn?
That is a sad reality. And earlier in the week, the Minister of Education was here, and he saw things for himself. In my remarks, I emphasized this point that alternative housing really is critical at this point. We need to find alternative houses so we can relocate the displaced people. The numbers have gone up a bit. I think North Dawn is hitting 13,000 now in terms of the displaced people, according to the latest NADMO data. So these are huge numbers. And even though our chiefs have donated land, and I must commend the chiefs, they say that anybody who is willing to come and put up housing here does not have to pay for the land, not even a knocking fee. You don't have to present drinks, nothing. Just come and take over the land and start. And I must commend the First Sky Group. We are working very fast. And then I must also commend Pastor Martin, who has promised that his church will also take up a housing unit. Mr. Ibrahim Mahama has also promised that he will also take up a few housing units. And he's already sent his engineers here to do a recce and to assess the land. This morning, he sent bulldozers here to start preparing the land for houses to be constructed. And we want to thank him very much. We are eternally in his debt. I must also add that the relocation discussion must go beyond a few philanthropies, because the numbers are huge, and government will have to really put together an allocation for this. And that is why when the finance minister came yesterday, whilst commending him for his visit, I emphasized 2 points: that in the 2024 budget he'll be presenting to Parliament in a few days, I want to see 2 things: 1, resettlement allocation in the budget, and 2, compensation allocation in the budget, because it is urgent. Apart from the fact that schooling has been affected, the sanitary conditions are not the best. Classrooms are not created for residential accommodation. There are no showers, there are no toilets, there are no beds, and so it's just makeshift structures. People are crammed, there's congestion, and doctors are already saying that my people are now presenting with all kinds of respiratory diseases and skin infection from heat rash and all of that. So it's not humane. No human being deserves to be living in a classroom under these conditions. And even though this week Red Cross, and I must commend Red Cross, they brought us 24 tents to help ease the congestion. The congestion is real, and it still remains. And we don't have even enough portable toilets in these camps. So these are not conditions anybody should live in. And so it is important that government really considers an allocation, even though at our level, private initiative is going on to see how many people we can resettle. But I'm glad that the finance minister was here with
Thank you.
from the finance ministry.
Let's look at it this way. Two very important, critical matters that have to be explained. In terms of the big plan, as in the resettlement that you are pushing for your people, especially Mepe, which is completely gone, as we understand.
Yeah.
First, tell us about that. Is it just about the Sky Group and Prophet Amwating promising to help in that direction as well, and then Ibrahim Mahama also promising to help? They've all been there and donated so much to assist you. Is it just them, or there is a plan so that this doesn't become haphazard?
So, to be honest with you, I wish I could tell you that there is a plan which has been confirmed to us by the central government. There is none. So it's just private initiatives. My chiefs and I looking at land, large tracts of land, telling everybody to stay away from those lands and demarcating those lands, and we showing it to prospective people who want to support us to resettle these displaced people. So we keep pushing government to tell us what the plan is. And I told the finance minister yesterday in my remarks when he visited us that we want to see an allocation in the budget for that, and that will let us know that government has a plan. But for now, it is at the level of just private initiative, the chiefs donating land, and me going out there to lobby and appeal to well-wishers to come in and help us. But that's not a sustainable. I do concede that we may get some housing units, but in terms of looking at the numbers, that will not be adequate. And remember that the appeal my chiefs too made to the president when he visited us about Saglemi housing, if it could be considered so that our people will relocate, will have more decent, humane conditions, and then the schools will be free for academic work to resume. We are still waiting for a response from government in that regard. So we really don't have a plan from government on resettlement, and I think that it is really sad.
About groups like the Red Cross Society that gave you some 24 tents that you are distributing among the 21 displaced camps. Is it not possible to focus on getting more tents so that the education of the children can take place?
You see, the challenge with these tents is that these tents are being mounted right in the schools. So it still disrupts academic work. It's not conducive unless we prepare land elsewhere. And this is land that we want to use for more permanent housing, the land that we have allocated. Remember that we don't have a lot of land to spare these days. A lot of the land is underwater, and so the few we have, we think that it's we are better off using it for more permanent, decent housing, so that we can relocate the people. So these tents are in schools, so it doesn't really address the issue. I mean, children will be in class learning, and people are in tents all around, the precincts of the schools. Some are doing their chores, cooking, the smoke, the aroma, the noise activities. People are coming to donate. People are coming to share items, the noise. That's not a conducive environment for academic work. So it's really not an option, ideally. And that's why we believe that the most appropriate thing to do, and to do it urgently, is to have a government-announced initiative for reconstruction, and it has to be comprehensive. Houses, clinics, because a lot of the chief compounds, a lot of the hospitals are gone. Really, technically speaking, it's only Bator Catholic Hospital surviving now. So we need to look at a resettlement plan proper resettlement plan. And earlier this week, the Ghana Institute of Engineers, Architects, Planners were here, and they agree with us that the only sustainable path forward is to have a resettlement plan and move the displaced people into those permanent accommodation.
Issue has to do with what I raised first. The relief, it's coming in droves. Almost all media houses and the significant media houses like conglomerates like multimedia are all mobilizing and bringing them towards the region. How is this coordinated?
Yes, and I must commend the media. You guys have been phenomenal, and we really appreciate it. In Northton, we have set up a joint committee, and I am in that committee. The DC is in the committee. The Deputy Director General of NADMO has been asked to chair the committee so that it's not seen as a partisan effort because he is a technical person. So he chairs the committee. We have reps from the chiefs. So it's a very coordinated effort, and we disclose to each other what is coming in. This morning we have a mega distribution program, which is what I had to take a break from to talk to you. And today we are in the Mefo traditional area. We are beginning with households. You know, many people think all the displaced people are in the 21 camps. It's just about 60% who are in the displaced camps. The rest are in households touching with those whose buildings survived. So today we want to focus on those people in the various homes. So we're focusing on the households, and we've packaged the relief items that have come in. Okay. We have them in relief boxes. So everybody gets some rice, some oil, some canned fish, a drink, biscuit, and then maize. My people really like maize. To
be frank with you, to be frank with you, Samuel, I was looking, for example, at say Akwena Stevia Kwanza bringing those bags of maize.
Yes, from Ibrahim farm. Yes.
Ibrahim Mohammed's trucks. You call them trailers, right?
Yes.
Packed with all those items. Where are you going to keep them? That's actually what I'm thinking about. Where are you keeping them? Magdan Foundation, all that they brought in trailers. Where are you going to keep them?
Yes, so we've identified warehouses. Remember that the numbers are huge. So we immediately do sharing because we like the donors to see that the items are going to the people. So when they come in, we have a program. We invite people who are outstanding to be served. We invite them to the presentation ceremony. So immediately the first batch of sharing takes place in their presence. It goes to the victim. And then we have identified 4 warehouses. We have 4 big warehouses. And I must thank a Chinese construction firm here in the constituency who have donated their warehouse to us to use for this period. We have another warehouse in the assembly. We have a third one at the Best Care Hotel. They've also donated theirs very generously. Then the 4th one is I have had to convert. You know, I had this big furniture and footwear bank that I provide furniture and footwear to deprived children throughout the year. We've had to empty it of the shoes, remove the shoes and furniture, and we are using that as a 4th warehouse. So we still do have some space for more donations to come in. So something I don't want you to think that we are so overwhelmed and we lack space in Northton. We do. And remember that this is a long haul operation. They are still in the camps. They are going to be there for a long time. Over 500 houses, according to NADMO, have been
Even
destroyed.
When you do, we pray and hope that you do get overwhelmed. And when you do get overwhelmed, we will ensure that you are double overwhelmed because it is needed. Thank you very much, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, the MP for Northton.